So the world's been wondering, when are we going to get the MCU X-Men? When is that coming? Well, a new article here from Screen Geek. I don't know how credible they are, but they do discuss what the plans are for Marvel Studios X-Men. Now, obviously we've already gotten the announcement for Phase 5, and unless they have some last minute additions, I'm not really expecting the X-Men movie to be part of MCU Phase 5, which is going to start February with Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. However, I could see them putting the X-Men movie either in Phase 6 or even after Phase 6 in Phase 7. I believe, based on what they've been hinting, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Avengers Secret Wars is probably going to be the finale of Phase 6. Again, could be wrong. It just depends on how they do it. And then they could slide in with the X-Men being the first Phase 7 film, or they could put it in Phase 6. So based on what's going on here in this article, here's what they said. Again, don't know how credible they are, but let's see what they say. It says, our sources have told us that Marvel Studios' current plan is for the MCU X-Men film to be based on Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men run. So that's interesting because Whedon directed Avengers 2012 and Avengers Age of Ultron. So he's actually worked on MCU films, but presumably he's not going to be directing this movie because he's kind of got a lot of heat in Hollywood now for various reasons I won't get into right now. So the article goes on to say, Astonishing X-Men was a comic book series continuation of Grant Morrison's New X-Men. Whedon's run began in 2004 and ended in 2008. It's unclear which X-Men team the studio plans on using, but it's worth noting that the lineup in that series was Cyclops and Emma Frost team leaders, and also included Beast, Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, and Colossus. That group was also featured in various limited series, including World War Hulk X-Men. Now, if the MCU X-Men film has that cast, I'll be fine with it, but it sounds like what they're doing for this MCU X-Men film is they're going to probably be recasting some people, maybe even all the X-Men. They might recast them. I'm not really sure. I have this funny feeling. I could be wrong, but I have this funny feeling that the X-Men from the Fox universe, that is to say, Hugh Jackman and that group, Patrick. Why am I forgetting his name now, dude? Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart. Ugh, I don't know why I had a brain fart there. He was already in Doctor Strange 2. So I have a feeling that for Secret Wars, they are going to have the Fox X-Men universe be in Secret Wars, but I think there's going to be an incursion, the universe will get destroyed. I think that's their way of kind of using the Fox library and still using, giving those characters one last, spotlight. That is to say, the Fox X-Men actors. You can have Hugh Jackman come back one more time, just one more time, to play Wolverine in that universe, from an alternate X-Men universe. Or you could just recast. It's going to be tough because to cast the X-Men, I feel like it's going to be a little bit tougher than even casting Fantastic Four. Because with the X-Men, you've got to get characters that get it right, actors that get the characters right. And Hugh Jackman, although that was a curious choice back in 1999, he did a great job, and he kind of has become the Wolverine of cinema. Unfortunately, he's immortal, and someday he will retire and later on pass away. So he won't be playing Wolverine forever, and they're going to have a new, fresh X-Men, so you might as well recast. I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep reading this. It says, it's unclear. Oh, I already read that part. Whedon's astonishing X-Men run featured 4 different story arcs in Gifted, Dangerous, Torn, and Unstoppable. A summarized version of the overall plot is the team must stop an alien race from destroying Earth, which we've seen all over the MCU a bunch of times, while also dealing with the announcement of the mutant cure and various other problems that come about the way. So I feel like if they're going to adapt that story, they're going to have to already introduce mutants into the X-Men or into the MCU, and they kind of have slowly done things like that. Obviously, the first big mutant, if you want to call her that, was the Scarlet Witch, along with Quicksilver. They were actually X-Men characters first. You could count them. But in this situation, I feel like whenever they do bring in the X-Men, if they're going to do it like this, they're going to have to have already established mutants, whether it be some kind of event that happens in one of the big movies like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, or in one of the TV shows like Loki Season 2, or maybe, I don't know, Secret Invasion. But right now, I've only seen very, very, very subtle hints. I mean, I think the biggest one would be Patrick Stewart's appearance in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Because, I mean, he's Dr. Charles Xavier, and he will always play that role. I wish he had more screen time, but, and he's a mutant. He's a mutant even in that, in that variant universe. So, mutants do exist in that universe. Why don't they exist in the MCU yet? They have to explain all that. It says here, one recent rumor suggests that Marvel can only use Fox's previous X-Men actors to portray the characters till 2025. That is a weird thing to say, honestly, that they can only use the Fox actors. I don't know if that's even true, but if so, that actually would go along with my theory, because I believe 2025 is when Secret Wars comes out, so they could do that, bring back Hugh Jackman and all those actors, have them fight for their universe, and maybe a couple of them survive, but most of them die, and you can start over again. They could do something like that. Or they could just figure out a way to incorporate them into the main MCU from the other universe. I don't know. That sounds like a BS rumor. There may have been something contractually when they bought the X-Men from Fox, or when they bought Fox altogether. There may have been something contractually there that they had to use those actors, but as far as I know, I've never heard of a situation like that where you are forced to use the actors that they want you to use. What if the actors are not available? What if they have other projects, or what if they have other things going on? What if they get sick? What if they pass away? There's a lot of variables, and obviously all of that should be in the contract. But if that's true, which again, I have doubts about that. I don't know the credibility of this website. I feel like that makes sense, that they can later on bring in more. Let me see here. The apparent contract issue had to stop Marvel from making X-Men references in their Disney Plus shows, though, as we've seen Easter eggs appear in The Falcon and Winter Soldier and She-Hulk. Miss Marvel revealed Kamala Khan as the MCU first mutant. Yeah, which I actually haven't seen that yet. So if that's the case, then there you go. Is Kamala Khan a mutant in the comics? I really don't know much about that version of Miss Marvel. So I know Carol Danvers from the comics, but I don't really know her. It says here, as far as more developments on the X-Men and everything Marvel Cinematic Universe related, we'll be sure to keep you posted on any details as soon as we get them. So I got this link from the MCU Marvel Studios Reddit right here, and they do tend to have relatively accurate information there. But again, I don't, these websites like, we got this covered, Screen Rant, comicbook.com, like they're all completely full of shit. And this website might be one of them. I do not know. So what do you think about this story about the MCU X-Men coming and when you think they're going to come? Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you on the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Take care.